how much do you think, because I do think he's a very talented and gifted fighter, but how much is it his ability to sell a fight? His gift of gab is nothing like we've ever seen in the UFC. You have to go back to an Ali. Somebody that could talk, that get you riled up. I got to watch this guy fight. Either he going to whip somebody or I want somebody to whip him, but I got to see it.
I always hate to do this, but it's a fact. Conor and Ali are here. When you talk, they're equal. When you talk about mental warfare and the ability to get in the guy's head and the ability to, talk up a fight, he's Ali level. Yeah. He really is. And it's fun, man. Conor, it's fun having Conor in this company,
right,
and in this sport in general. So I don't know what you asked me. What'd you ask me?
How has the $100 million fight, to your best guess?
Well, it's not just a $100 million fight.
It's everything that came along.
Made, I mean, as far as I've heard too, in the movie business, he just did a movie. He was the highest paid guy to ever walk into a movie for the first time. His liquor business.
Craft Irish,
You and I hope we can do what he did in the liquor business. And the list goes on and on and on at what this kid has achieved and continues to achieve. So, fighting got him into a position where he could capitalize on all these different things outside of fighting. And very few, I'm trying to think of who else has been able to do that. Everybody else has had to make all their money in fighting. Yes. Maybe they had a couple things go on here and there. Nobody has done it outside of the octagon or ring at the level that Conor McGregor has.
You're absolutely right. Conor McGregor grew up, obviously, at one point in time, he was getting government assistance. Turns himself into the great fighter. He's a champion in 2 different weight classes. He fights Floyd, makes a ton of money. And we're going to get to that, how and why you signed off on that deal. Do you think Conor can ever be what he once was, having accumulated the wealth? Because it's hard. And I can appreciate Brady. I can appreciate guys that make millions, hundreds of millions, and still go and act as if they're broke. Did you think that 100 million changed Conor? Does he still have the desire to go train and punch people in the face and get kicked in the face like he did when he was broke?
It's impossible for that money not to affect you and phase you. And you see it, that is, and you're so dead on. One of the things that makes Brady so incredible and unique is that not only did he every year strive to get better and better, he was never one of these guys that tried to break the bank and be the highest paid guy. He would actually take less money to build
a better team.
100%. I mean, it's one of the things that now he's looked at as the GOAT, and that guy will continue to print money for the rest of his life.
Absolutely.
And to be a young guy and not let his ego get in the way of being great and chasing greatness, and understanding that not one person does anything. You need a team around you. And that is one of the things that I will credit Conor for too. If you ever notice, there's never been animosity or a beef between UFC and Conor McGregor.
Right.
Conor McGregor is brilliant in that way too. He knows what he brought to the table, and he knows his value and his worth. But he also knows that the UFC is, you know what I mean? Much like Brady. The thing in fighting, the hard part about in the combat sports world is once you start to make that kind of money and you want to say, well, it never changed me. It's impossible not to change you. It's impossible to go from, where you were to where you are today financially and not be changed. But Conor's one of the very unique few that was able to capitalize on his fame, his personality, and everything else outside of the octagon. And this is all professional sports. I mean, you played at the highest level. To stay on top of your game for many, many years is very hard to do, especially once money becomes involved.
Well, it's hard in this sport because you can't duck and dodge. You can't.
You're absolutely right. You have a team around you that where you might slack a little bit, other people can pick up and carry you. You can't get carried in this sport.
Right. See, and see, when I look at Conor and you look at what he has, his craft Irish whiskey, and I think he has a beard now. He goes from wearing sandals to have mink slippers. He goes from living in very meager house to living in an ivory tower. And he hadn't fought. I'm looking at it we last fought in January 2020. What do you expect when he steps back into the ring?
He's at a place in his life and in his career that, he shows up every once in a while, but when he does, it's fun.
You know it's going to be electric.
People give a shit.
Yeah.
People want to see it. And, you can't expect to always be, the best in the world. It's hard to do. And you got to give it. I'll give you an example. People talk shit and say whatever they want to say, but look at Canelo. Canelo is still the man.
Yes. He's been for a long, long time.
And he jumps in there and he does it and he goes to work, and it's hard to stay at that level for a very long time. And Canelo's another guy. I mean, what's this guy clipping 40 mil a fight?
Easy.
Something like that. You know what I mean? Not including what he's making outside of the ring. So, a very unique few can do it.
303 UFC. It's going to be in the Sphere, right?
Mm-hmm. No, 303 is Conor McGregor International Fight Week.
Okay.
The Sphere is in September.
Dana, how do you go about choosing where fights will take place?
So normally what we'll do is we'll look at a date, a fight, what's available, where we haven't been in a long time. This whole Sphere thing goes back to Tom Brady. Tom Brady called me and said, want to go see you two together? They're playing at the Sphere. I said, yeah, I'm in. We go to the Sphere. I'm sitting in the Sphere and I'm looking around at how amazing this place is and the technology and everything. And I'm like, I have to do this. I literally, when we left, I got on the phone and I called my head of production, Craig Borsari, and I said, you're going to U2 next weekend. Get the team together, whoever you want to bring, and you're going to go watch this concert. We're doing the Sphere.
Wow.
So why would I do this to myself, right? It's like, this is the kind of things that I love to do. I love to be first.
Okay.
I love to push the limits.
Right.
I love to do things that people think aren't possible, because everybody's like, how could you pull off a sporting event in the Sphere? It doesn't even make sense. Well,
watch it.
In September, I'm going to show you how you do it, right? So we're deep into this thing now. At the time, I've been with MGM forever.
Yes.
Well, I don't have the right to go to the Sphere. They fucked me. Okay? They fucked me.
MGM did.
Yeah. And basically they knew that I had this whole thing that I was doing. I just built a performance institute in Mexico, right? I'm doing Mexican Independence Day, and hats off to Al Heyman. We do the event. MGM got fucked by boxing somehow.
Right.
I don't know the deal or how it went down, but they got fucked.
Okay.
So I end up getting Mexican Independence Day.
Okay.
I go in, put on a great event. Al Heyman, I called my guy Monday and said, make sure we got this locked up next year too.
Right.
That weekend, Al Heyman slides in and steals the date from me next year. Al, hats off to you. My guy calls on Monday and they said, yo, we already gave it to Al Heyman. I flipped the fuck out. Flipped out.
Because you do all your fights at the MGM Grand.
Yeah, for 20-something years.
Yes.
But these guys say, we're sorry, how can we fix it? I said, give me the Sphere. I want the Sphere. I want the Sphere. So MGM gives me the date at the Sphere, lets me go to the Sphere to do this thing.
Wow.
Right? So the way that this thing played out is crazy. This was meant to happen. So September is going to be, first of all, I'm a big boxing fan, and I've always been a fan of Mexican fighters.
Yeah.
And, some of the baddest dudes to ever walk the face of this earth have been Mexicans.
Yeah.
When somebody tells you you fight like a Mexican, it is the biggest compliment you could ever get.
You fight.
In the fight business, right? And this is my love letter to Mexico, the Mexican people, and the history of combat in Mexico.
Right.
And it's going to be done in the greatest arena ever built.
Right.
With the best technology in the world right now as far as arena goes. And I'm already $16 million into this thing. This will never be done again. This will never be replicated. Anybody who comes in after me at the Sphere is fucked. Fucked. Telling you right now.
So this is going to be a one-off. The UFC will never go back to the Sphere. This is a one of a one.
One of one. One and done. And it will be the greatest live sporting event anybody has ever seen.
And
if you're Mexican, you have to be there. You have to be there.
Have you already got a card in mind?
We're working on it and we're tweaking it every day. And yeah,
John,
the answer is yes.
Ooh, woo. Oh man, I can just imagine who. I'm sure everybody wants to be on that card.
Everybody should want to be on that card. Believe me when I tell you. Everybody was all fired up about UFC 300. This thing is going to be, and again, if you are Mexican and you are on this, it's going to be like nothing anybody's ever seen before for a live event.
Want to join Club Shay Shay? Become an official member by hitting that subscribe button, where you never know who's going to be joining us for drinks and conversation. Don't be late to the party because we like to do something before 2 something.